Hi, it's Gary. Well, welcome to today's video. Today I've got an ink comparison for you. We're going to be taking a look at some brown inks. The first one here, I'll fetch it a bit closer to the camera. This is by Diamine and it's Brandy Snap. The second one, a larger bottle here. This is by Robert Oster and it's Caffe Crema. They're both brown coloured inks I like. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at the swatches, we'll do a brief writing sample, and then we'll take a look at some other writing on other notebooks. Here we are down on the mat. Take a look at the two inks. So the first ink we're going to look at today is by Robert Oster, and it's Robert Oster Caffe Crema. I'm going to be comparing that against Diamine Brandy Snap. Now this is from the 2021 ink vent, so I've only got a little bottle of it. So here's the Brandy Snap, and here's the bottle of Robert Oster. Totally look different when you look at the sizes. Maybe if I get it in camera you can actually see better. A baby and a giant by the look of it. So we'll take a look at the two swatches here. The Caffe Crema, it's definitely that paler and it's got more brown tones to it that I can see. I've got to be honest, this is an ink that I really like. And every time I reach for a brown ink, I tend to reach for this one. It's a nice pale colour. Where we've got two layers there, we've got some more darkness to it. Whereas compared to the Brandy Snap, to me it's a warmer brown. There's a lot more like orange tones to it. But when we look at this single swatch down the side, you can see it's still got a fairly pale undertone. Both of these swatches, they look different. That's because I change how I do my swatches over time. Let's turn over and we'll take a look at the chromatography. So we've got the Caffe Crema and we've got the Brandy Snap. So the Caffe Crema, we've got more peach colours in there. I mean, they're certainly coming and shouting right out at you. We then go to them, I would say, orangey tones. Then at the top, we've got a thin line, and that looks like a dark grey to me. With the Brandy Snap, here what we've got is we've got a grey line at the bottom, so I'm thinking there might be some water resistance in this. Then we go into yellows, a little bit of that peachy tone, and then we finish off with yellows at the top and some light pink just showing up here on the very top. Looks nice though, doesn't it? Really interesting chromatography. This chromatography is something I'm really playing around with at the moment. So let's get these out of the way. So again, Caffe Crema and Brandy Snap. I'm going to fetch in my notepad of testing. Here it comes. This is an A5 notebook by Black & Red, and it uses the Oxford optic paper, which is usually really nice and fountain pen friendly. In my writing tests today, I'm going to be using this. This is a Serendipity dip pen, and it's got a broad Yoho nib on it. I'm deliberately using this pen because then I've got a consistent pen for testing these inks with. So let's take a look at the Caffe Crema first. Here's the bottle. So definitely a bigger bottle, so Caffe Crema. Just give it a little bit of a shake. And let's do a test. I'll dip in the nib. So we've got here Robert Oster Caffe. I'm just going to move that bottle before I knock it over. Crema. Dry times, immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. So still smudging a little bit at 30 seconds. For completeness, 1 minute. After a minute, again, I'm seeing the tiniest bit of a smudge, but I'm being really picky with this. But yeah, I would say after a minute, that's definitely dry. Going to do a writing sample now. Okay, I'm going to re-dip the pen. So with this writing, I love the colours. I love the tones that I see. You know, we've got some shading coming through, look there on the tops of the seas, the air. Certainly here on the first part where it was running out of ink, as you can see, it's still slightly wet because I smudged it. But on the Grumpy Wizards part, you can see that definite shading and tones coming out. And I know it was running out of ink. Goes dark again with that new dip, but then quickly goes back to showing them gorgeous tones. Really love this. We'll take a look on some other papers in a couple of minutes. Let's take a look at the second one. I've cleaned off that dip pen so we know it's nice and clean. The second one is by Diamine and it's Brandy Snap. Little bottle. This is a standard ink if I get to the right side. There we go, standard. So not expecting to see much in the way of sheen or shimmer. Let's take the lid off and we'll give this. So this time we have Diamine, Brandy Snap. Let's look at those drying times. Immediate. Looks a lot wetter, doesn't it? 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Finally, 1 minute. After a minute, it's still wet, so a lot wetter ink. Let's just do my writing sample. So with this one single dip managed to do all my writing, whereas with the Caffe Crema, we ran out partway through the writing sample. Yes, I know it's very hard. It's not scientific because I could have dipped a different amount. It's not really easy to say that it's exactly the same, but we get roughly the idea. Diamine Brandy Snap, certainly, if we look at the smudges, looks like it's a lot wetter ink and it seems to come off that nib a lot nicer as well. Go and take a look over at some of our writing examples. The first one, this is on Tomai River paper. So here you can see I made a mistake. I put the wrong name of the ink. I don't know what I was thinking that day because I put Terre de Fouet instead of Brandy Snap. It's a nice orangey brown. It looks so nice on this paper. I'm sorry you can see through to the other side. Hopefully that's not too distracting. On here, we can see the shading coming through. There's loads of it coming out. It looks so nice. I love it when there's shading in an ink, because to me it just adds character. Let's turn the page, and now we've got here Robert Oster Caffe Crema. Some more of a browner ink. Again, we've got that shading coming through. So much character. It's a really nice, I would say like a medium brown ink. As I said, I tend to use this a lot. Let's flip back to the live camera. So now I'm going to fetch in some Rodeo Notebooks. This first one, this is with the Caffe Crema. The pen I've used for this is a Pilot Custom 823 and it's got a broad nib. It's a pen I've only had since Christmas. I love the pen. So I thought when I was going to do this video, I would use these inks in this pen. So we've got the same pen, it's just the ink is different. This looks so nice. I mean, again, we can see this shading coming through. It's jumping right out at you. It's such a nice colour. You can see the definite medium brown to it. But then where we get these orangey bits with that shading, I think, to me, when I look at this, it jumps off the page, it shouts at me, read me, it's got that much character. In another Rodeo book, so it's the same paper, this is with the Diamine Brandy Snap. And again here, we can see the shading coming through, but we can see how different colour it is. If I put them both side by side, there we go. You can see the orange coming through in this Brandy Snap. Definitely, it's a richer colour to me, whereas the brown, it's just a flattish colour. It's, you know, it's not going to say it's boring, but it doesn't have life to it. With the extra richness, with this orange tones in the Brandy Snap, I think that just makes it look so much nicer. Let's move these out of the way. So I'm going to fetch back my two cards. There we go, the Caffe Crema and the Brandy Snap. What do I think of these inks? Well, as I said, Caffe Crema, I love this ink. It's my go-to brown. Since getting a Brandy snap, I do like it. I want to use it more. My biggest issue with it, it's a fairly small bottle. If I fetch in there, it's less than half the size. A number of my pens are piston fillers or vacuum fillers. Issue I have with this bottle, with it being so small, the nibs don't fit in, so I can't actually fill the pens properly, which means I've been limited to cartridge converters, which has also then limited my use of this. I am going to get myself a large bottle of this. I love the colour. And then once I've got that large bottle, well, then I can easily fill my pens. I can use the piston fillers. I can use the vacuum fillers. It's going to make a big difference. So definitely with this one, big bottle that will be incoming once they're released. With the Caffe Crema, again, it's just a nice ink. It works, it writes lovely. I've had it in a number of pens. They've all looked really nice. I love the fact it's not too dark. I like it being that light to medium brown. I love the shading that comes through it. And that to me is what fetches the interest out. All in all, it is my current go-to brown ink. But I can see that being replaced by Brandy Snap once I've got that bigger bottle. So they're my thoughts on Robert Oster Caffe Crema and Diamine Brandy Snap. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What do you think of these inks? Are there any other similar brown inks that you could suggest I try? I do have a number of other brown inks, but it's one area where I think I'm really getting into that brown ink and I want to expand my collection. Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment. Well, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.